Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome. This is Coffee with Great Wealth Strategies. This is my very first post of the new year, 2013. Of course, I got my cup of Java this morning. I've enjoyed a little bit of a vacation. I hope everybody else has too. My last post was, I think, the day before Christmas, and so when we were talking then, we were still talking about the fiscal cliff, and it is now a new year, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about it, at least some of the results of it. So it ends up being kind of like that old song, the same old lang syne. The fiscal cliff drama is over, sort of, not really, at least for now. But let's talk about what actually happened, how a negotiation was met, and how that's going to affect you directly. So global markets, as we all know, were closed in observance of New Year's Day, and economists, pundits, and the rank-and-file politicians watched nervously as the day passed without any sign of last-minute deals. However, before their hopes were completely dashed, a speedy yet successful vote was held, and the massive tax hikes and spending cuts, very few. The ratio actually is 41-1 for tax hikes to spending cuts. Were virtually eliminated. So, according to various media reports, the recently approved legislation was the result of tense negotiations between Vice President Joseph Biden and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. The side deal was held as talks between Republican Speaker John Boehner, President Barack Obama, and Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid broke down over squabbling back and forth between the two. And if we all remember, John Boehner actually used the F word in regards to addressing Senator Harry Reid. So, for example, last week, Senator Reid referred to the Speaker Boehner's tenure as a dictatorship. That's what resulted in the F word, which later drew a reportedly curt bout and cursing between the two earlier this week. So with the deal actually in place right now, the kind of deal which really is just kicking the can down the road at this point, the fiscal solution in the United States has entered a new and potentially dangerous phase. So let's just think about where we are going. So the law that was passed mirrors efforts that were conducted in the Senate earlier this year, including a tax hike threshold of $400,000 for individuals and $450,000 for families. While this spared the American middle class with a comprehensive rate increase, the expiration of the Social Security tax holiday means that most U.S. workers will see less in their pay during 2013. Additionally, all of the spending cuts that would have occurred this month were postponed for a wild 2 months. My wife just got a letter or an email from the payroll department where she works, and they just wanted to warn her that her paycheck will be roughly 6 to 10% less than it was just a week ago. So everybody will be getting a pay cut. Everybody. Oh, excuse me. Hold on one second there. So the bill was also notable for a variety of miscellaneous provisions that really had nothing to do, or very little to do, with the fiscal cliff. I thought this was kind of interesting. So several news outlets, including ABC News, identified a number of inclusions that some Americans, especially those paying those more in taxes, might really object to, such as a $430 million in Hollywood tax breaks. And then there's also a $70 million worth of subsidies going to NASCAR track owners. Anyways, don't know where that stuff came from and how that affected the fiscal cliff. But, you know, essentially at this time, it's really tough to say whether any kind of deals will be made to actually significantly cut any type of spending and get the U.S. back on the right track and avert, serious damage to the U.S. economy. Issues such as the debt ceiling have not been covered yet. Government spending's got to wait till yesterday. Oh, I should turn that off. I apologize. I was going to have to wait till yesterday when the new Senate was, or the new House was sworn in. John Boehner was voted in as the House chairman of the House. Sorry about that, guys. As well as they also didn't do a secret ballot on this, and it was all open on the floor, which I thought was a little bit problematic. I think the congressmen ought to be able to vote for who they want to be their leader without it being a floor vote. It should be secret ballot, but that's a whole nother story as well. So In the meantime, we have very little economic certainty in the months ahead. So I'd really like to encourage you guys to. I spent some time over the holidays working on the Great Wealth Strategies website. That's greatwealthstrategies.com. It's got a completely new format. It's got a lot of new content on it. So please go check out the new website, greatwealthstrategies.com. There are strategies that are listed there. Subscribe to our blog as well as our YouTube feeds. These YouTube feeds, please share these. I need to get a bigger subscriber list to my channel, and the only way that happens is you guys liking what you're hearing and spreading this out. Of course, you can post these on Facebook or Twitter these or do whatever you can, because what we want to do is we want to share the knowledge that I'm giving you and what you're learning here with everybody else so that we can get through these fiscal challenges together. And thanks for listening today. Happy New Year. And once again, this is Eric Kenyon, Regular Joe with Coffee with Great Wealth Strategies. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.